welcome to Patti Knits and Spins. I'm your host, Patti. You can find me on Ravelry as Pattisand. There is a group, Patti Knits and Spins Podcast, so please come and join me. You can also find me on Instagram. I am Pattisand631 there. If you follow me, I'll follow you. Today is March the 13th, and 2015, and this is episode 58. On today's show, I will talk to you about my whips, my faux, my nap, spinning, stitching purchase, Alaska fun fact, and whatever else crosses my mind. So sit back, relax, grab your beverage of choice. I'm doing tea today, your craft of choice. I'm knitting a baby hat. And let's chat. This might be a little bit different podcast since I am trying to knit. So if you see me looking down, it's because I am doing a baby hat and I'm still on the ribbing. This was not a good plan to try to knit and talk to you guys when I'm doing ribbing. I can knit and not look, but with ribbing I need to make sure that I'm actually doing the purls on the purls and the knits on the knits. So that is why I keep looking down. Sorry about not podcasting last week. I just wasn't feeling it. I was trying to do so many other things that podcasting kind of fell behind, and I had all intentions of trying to get back on my schedule. So podcasting on Friday or Saturday. Friday came along and I got busy, and Saturday came along and I just didn't feel up to it. So I said, okay, we're just going to wait till next week and do it again. So here I am, better late than never, right? I hope you guys feel like that. This week has been great. A couple weeks ago, I got the Nintendo DS version of Monster Hunter 4, and I love that game. I love taking and going on quests and battling monsters, and all three of my sons plus one of my daughter-in-law have a copy of the game, so we can go online and go questing together to chop up monsters. So it's been a lot of fun, and I actually I'm doing better. The really hard monsters, I still have to have the kids come and in fact, one of my sons is coming today to help me destroy a monster, because I've tried and he keeps killing me. So, you just gotta do what you gotta do. Woo. Hair emergency. Yeah, so I've been chopping up monsters plus knitting and spinning. So you'll see my progress on both fronts. Mother Nature also decided to play an evil trick this week and go back down below zero. And not only below zero, but we're talking 20 below. It was 24 below Fahrenheit this morning. They are calling from anywhere from 35 to 36, depending on which one I look at, for tomorrow's low. No, because it's really evil. It got up to like negative, I think it was like -4 or 5 yesterday afternoon, and then it plummets at night, and that's when it's really bad, because it's beautiful, sun shining, and it's gorgeous outside, and you look out and like, ooh, it should be really warm. No, it's 11 below and cold. It's not fair. It's not fair. And yeah, so I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But it's supposed to be warming back up, and hopefully get back to seasonal weather, which is only like 10 above. So but still cold. But spring is around the corner. Please tell me that. Please tell me that spring is around the corner, because I am so ready. Even though we didn't have a bad winter this year, I'm just ready. I'm ready to be able to go outside in my backyard and knit and spin and have the knit group go outside and get ice cream and knit. It's fun. It's a lot of fun in the summertime with our knit group. But you're not here to hear me ramble on, so let's get on with the knitting. First thing that's on the needles is the Bright Colored Baby Hat by Roxanne Wood. I am knitting a baby hat, and it is on a US 2 2.75. This pattern is free, and you can find it on my Ravelry projects page. So, quit knitting and show us, right? I watched a podcast, and I can't remember who it was now, and I feel really bad about that because I was going to say who it was. It is one that has two hosts. I do know that. She did a baby preemie hat. Oh, it's Moms with Yarn. That's who it was. And she did a preemie hat out of, and I believe it was Sharon, did a baby hat out of this yarn. And I just so happened to have some and decided I needed a baby hat out of self-striping watermelon sock yarn by Yarns by Abby. So this is Artistic Yarn by Abby. So as you saw, I have 45 grams left. I have plenty to make a baby hat. I am on the ribbing. So it is just a 2x2 rib and then stockinette for a while and then the decreases. So I just think I wanted to knit a baby hat, and I wanted to, when I saw that watermelon baby hat, oh, it's like, that's it. That's what I want to knit. So that went on the needles this week. And I will put this down so I can talk some more. And it is living in my very first Petaloop bag, which is the goldfish. They're so cute. Cute, cute, cute. And I almost think this is one of my first purchases of a project bags, was a Petaloop. Because I just love that bag. And the next thing that's on the needles is a Alana Dacos pattern out of Botanicals 2 Knits. It is the Sprig sweater. I really like that detail. This was one, when I saw this book, that was one of the patterns that I really, really liked. Hair emergency! Ah! Okay. So, uh-oh, I lost the tag. There it is. I am knitting this out of Elizabeth Lavole Silky Wool in the color 109 on a size 7, 4.5 millimeter. Here's the yarn. It's a gray. And I have been working on this quite a bit. So I have the sleeves on waste yarn. And I'm knitting down the side. And when I get to the 3.5 inch mark, I will put it on waste yarn and try it on and see where I want to go from there. But the reason it looks so big is that you add the collar on later. So I may get to the 3.5 inches and then put the collar on and maybe even do the sleeves and then do the rest of the body so I can use up all the yarn that I have, because that's my goal, is when I'm doing these sweaters I want to use as much or all of the yarn as I can to where it'll still look nice. So that's the second thing that's on my needles, and it's in a Amy Beth's Fat Squirrel fiber bag. This is the medium, so it fits the sweater very nicely. I just don't have the extra yarn with it. The extra yarn is still in my stash. I have 4 more skeins of that yarn. I'm on the second skein, so I should have enough. I'm hoping. That's why I want to do the other stuff first before I finish the body out, to make sure I have enough. So those are the 2 things that are on the needles this week. What's off the needles, which is my new hat. This is also from Alana Day Coast, out of the, I think it might be out of the Botanical Twos book. This is the Sprig Cloche. It's got the same detail that the Sprig sweater has. But this is my hand spun. It is Never Enough Time, a wildflower bat, and it is Rambouillet. I had 236 yards, so I still have quite a bit left. And I'm thinking I may do just a little wrister, just real small. Hopefully I can get 2 wristers out of it. I'll have to weigh it and then do one and then weigh it again. But that's all I have left. So this counts as the hand spun knit along that I have going on in the group until April 15th. So if you're interested, I have a KAL going along with Stashless Podcast for hand spun. You can knit, crochet, weave, felt, whatever you want to with your hand spun, and you put your finished object in the finished object thread, and you could win the Into the World Corriedale Classic Flounce. Very pretty. So, right now, I believe Phoenix Fire is in the lead. She's got lots. So I will be doing a random number generator. Chat all you want to in the group thread, because I will just write down everybody's name and put a number next to it and do it that way. So please, do that. Come join us. It's lots of fun. Needle adjacent. Yeah, you saw that I hadn't started that yet. I almost started it last night, but I decided not to because I needed to do some major spinning, and I'll talk about that in spinning. But I still have the Gossip Stole by Amanda Williams. You can find this pattern in Needles and Artifice. I have a size 3, 3.25 needle ready and waiting. I think it's going to be very pretty. And the reason I haven't started this is not one I can take to knit group. It will have to be a at home only. And right now I have my sweater as my at home only. So I will have to be starting a different project for knitting. Have the baby hat. I'll have to do that for a little bit. But anyway, I am going to use mustache yarn. I have over 1,000 yards left, and the some Hawaiian words, forget it. Some of them I can't figure out. Other ones I can play around with it, and I usually get it. But here it is. And it is a red. It's not a raspberry. It's a red. But anyway, this is going to be going on the needles hopefully this week, because I do want to start that. I'd love to get that done because I think it'll be great with that pattern. So that's what's needle adjacent so far. Spinning! I finished that loop back. I did this. This is a chain ply, 380 yards. This is called Seeing Double. And Steph, the way she did this bat is she has the colors repeating twice. So that if you wanted to, you could do a pair of hand knit socks, which is what I'm thinking. Since I got 380 yards out of 6 grams, I believe this is more of a DK weight. but I'm thinking that these are going to be socks. In here is merino, nylon, and Angelina. I absolutely love spinning loop bats. I love spinning sparkly loop bats, so you can see the sparkle. I spun this all on the Hansen, so it turned out fabulous. I'm very happy with it. So I just love it. My chain plying is getting better. I don't have any of the pigtails anywhere, so that is wonderful. And for you non-spinners, a pigtail is when you're taking a single and you're chain plying it, but it loops back on itself and you don't see it until you're knitting with it again and you see this little twirl of yarn sticking out the side. That is a pigtail, and I don't like those. My other loop bats have them because I wasn't paying close enough attention. So when I chain play, I have to pay really, really close attention so I don't get pigtails. But I have no pigtails in this batch, and I'm very, very, very happy about that. So it's beautiful. Look at those colors. I love it. And it turned out nice and soft, and it squishy, squishy, so it's not really like wire. Because sometimes my spinning is kind of tough, and it turns out to be almost like wire. And that makes me sad, but I still use it. It's still usable. So, there we go. My loop bat is done, peeps. Yay! And Monday, I kind of remembered that I was doing a spin-along. I had done the first part where I bought it, and I showed it, took the picture. And then, yeah, I needed to spin it by the 15th of March, the 15th of March. I don't have much more time. So, I broke the... Well, let me talk about it first. This is Blue Mountain Handcrafts, the Sweetheart Spin-Along. I got the colors that go with number 5, with that orange and brown. So, I will insert a picture here of the package. Just a second. You see the progression of the 3 bumps of fiber I had, then the add-ons, and then I took my blending board, so blending board fun, and kept the colors separate and just added the mixes in. So the orange has Angelina and the multi add-ons added. The yellow has just the add-ons, but the blue is part of the multi add-on, but there was a chunk of blue and I didn't use that one at all. And then the brown had the multi and the Angelina added in. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is ply them together for a nice true 3-ply. Now I think one of these had 0.03 ounces more than the others, but the other 2 were pretty close. So it's going to be very interesting what I get. They all were spinning pretty thin. Oh, got a loose bump there, but they were all spinning relatively thin. So I'm hoping to get enough to do a hat maybe, because I'm into hats right now. But anyway, here they are, and I will have them done before the 15th so I can add it in to the spin-along. I like spin-alongs, they're fun. Except for when you forget. This also shows me that I can spin 4 ounces in a week if I just do it. And it wasn't like I did a whole bunch every night, or that I did it every night. There was a night but I didn't do any. So it took like a day and a half to do it, each one. So 6, that doesn't make sense. Where I'd finish one and then start the next one on the same day. There we go. So anyway, they're done. All I have to do is ply them together, and they're resting so I can ply them. I finished it up last night actually, so I could ply them today, or tonight, and I might ply them tonight. I'm not sure, but that's spinning. The next thing on the wheel is going to be that 2 by hand ugly naked guy. Those pretty colors, and it's oh, what is it? Oh, merino and nylon, hand wash cold by Métis. I don't know how to say her name, but this is I got 2 by hands, and this is the second one, so I don't have any others after this one. But I just, ugly naked guy, that's too funny. Friends reference. So I was very happy with that. Yeah, so that's what's going on next, and I will be using my acre bobbin for this spin, so I can tell you guys what I thought of the acre bobbin. Since I only have 2, I may have to see. I might just do it as a single and do a 3-ply with this too and see what I get. Stitching, I made some purchases this week. I went to Joann's and found the double-sided case to put my extra floss in. And those flosses I've already got bobbined up in here, so I didn't want to put more in. But these are the 100s through 900s, and then this is my 3000s. So, and I have some older 1000 that they don't even show anymore. So I picked this up. It was kind of expensive, but if I can get rid of some of the other cases that I have, and this is all the floss that I have, except for what's already kitted up in the kits. So that's not too bad, and I'm not going to go floss crazy. I'm not one to go just buy floss to buy floss. So I would rather just have the floss for a kit, and if I need floss, then I'll go buy floss. But yeah. Ta-da! I really like this case. It works really well. The second thing is I went, and I couldn't believe this, that this pattern was on clearance for $24.99, and it's usually $49.99. I had a coupon that if you bought $35, you got $5 off, so I did end up doing that. So this was almost like buying this for $19.99. So I went ahead and got it. The other one, sorry for the glare. There, okay. The other ones were not on special. They still had Pinocchio. No, not Pinocchio. Fantasia, sorry, yeah. Mickey Mouse, and that one was not on. And they had Little Mermaid, which I already have, so I didn't get those. I got this one instead. So I thought that was a fantastic price. And yeah, I was very happy with that. But really, no more patterns. Still working on the Woodland Enchantress. I got some more of that corner done. I think that, like I said, I'll show that once a month. And I have been stitching on that almost every day, so I am making good progress on that. And I think what I'm going to do, I've decided that I will do the page of that and then do a page of something else, whether it's the Lily Mermaid or starting a new stitch. Could be the Mirabilia, or maybe one of these Disney, the 2 Disney ones. I could start a page of that, but do a page and a page so that I don't get too burnt out on the same, or just keep doing the same because I can always put it down for a couple weeks if I get too burnt out. But I don't think I will. Alaska fun fact question this week. I had to charge my Kindle up because it had died. That's what happens when you don't use the Kindle for a while. My question this week comes from Deb, Crafty Mystic. She asks, do you see Aurora Borealis frequently? It is on my bucket list to see these. Were you born in Alaska? Would you rather live in a warmer climate? Does the lack of light get to you? I know those are Patti questions and not Alaska questions, but curious. The best of all things to you and yours, Deb. Thank you, Deb. The best of everything to you and yours as well. So, the first one. I have seen lots of borealis. Since I've moved into town, I don't see them as much because of these streetlights. And you also have to go out in the cold late at night to see them. I did pull that up. And I was going to read this. This is from Fairbanks-Alaska.com, Northern Lights, Alaska. Best time to watch. The northern lights at their most dazzling from December to March, when the nights are longer and the sky darkest, can usually be seen as south as Juneau. Undulating ribbons of lights may shimmer in the sky for hours, like glowing dancing curtains of green, yellow, orange, or dark red. And their altitude of its lowest edge is 60 to 70 miles above the earth. Auroras may last for 10 to 15 minutes, and then they disappear and fade away. Let's see. An Eskimo tale records that the northern lights are spirits playing ball in the sky with walrus skull. Another legend calls them the flaming torches carried by departed souls guiding travelers to the afterlife. The scientific explanation is that aurora is a physical phenomenon taking place 50 to 200 miles above the earth. Solar winds flow across the Earth's upper atmosphere, hitting molecules of gas, lighting them up as much like neon lights. The University of Alaska Fairbanks studies them. They shoot rockets into them and look at what their makeups are. You can hear them. Sometimes if they're really out whipping and crack, you can hear like a crackle, because they say in here, where do they say that? Oh, an intense aurora display can cause many problems on the ground, such as intense electric current along electric power lines, causing blackouts. So you can hear the crackle sometimes when you're watching the auroras. They're beautiful. They're fun to watch. Like I said, you have to get out of the city to see them because there's just too much light and you can't, it's not dark enough to see them. So you have to be out. I used to live where there was no street lights and you could go out and see them and just crackling and popping, and they're mostly white. Mostly white and green. Sometimes you'll see red, but that's really rare to see red. But they have lots of fun. So I hope that was interesting to you guys. Let's move on to the next question. Were you born in Alaska? No. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. My parents got a divorce and my mom moved up here and we lived with my grandparents for a year. They left. We stayed because she got married. So, yeah. I was 5 when I moved to Alaska, so I've been here I don't really remember Ohio all that much, so yeah, that's my short version of the story. Would you rather live in a warmer climate? Yes. My personal preference is Hawaii. I want to live in Hawaii where it is 80 degrees every day and wonderful. Since I have lived here since I was 5, I think I've put in my time in the cold weather and I think I've done enough. But that is my dream place. We're really trying to get there. But if I have a grandkid, it may not. It may not happen. I may have to stay here and love on my grandchildren. But I don't have any yet, so. Yeah, okay. Didn't want to know that part, sorry. Does the lack of light get to you? No. You get so much light in the summertime that the wintertime is really short. August, September, October, there's still quite a bit of light. November, December, January, it's dark. February, I miss 1 to 2 weeks of February, and it seems like when we get back in February, it's light. So, right now it's light out, and light goes away about 5 or 6, and comes back up. So the lack of light is fairly short. It's just cold. So I don't go outside. I only use one light usually when I'm here, even in the summertime. In the wintertime, one light. Light doesn't bother me. What bothers me though was when I was a kid, I went to Arizona, and it was 8 o'clock at night and hot still and dark. Very, very dark. Now that kind of freaked me out because it wasn't cold and dark. No, it was hot and dark, and that didn't make sense. But yeah, it's just like in Hawaii when the sun sets at 6 o'clock. That's weird to me. And it's consistently 6 o'clock. Here it's not consistent. It changes. So I think that helps a lot. Yeah, okay. That was her questions. So Deb, thank you so much for participating and asking me a question. If you have any questions that you would like to ask me, please do. I'll answer them. If they're too personal, I'll let you know, but so far they haven't been. Yeah, I'll ask you questions, knitting questions, personal questions, whatever. Well, guys, looking around here and seeing that the second part of this was 14 minutes long, this has been a pretty long episode. I will try to stay on from here on out and podcast either Friday or Saturday. I will try to make sure I do my show notes. But yeah, I think that's all I have for this week. So put your finished hand spun objects in the thread. Go over and check out Stashlist's group. If you're not a member of Stashlist podcast group, that's a great podcast. Put your finished objects in her group. Please double, triple, quadruple dip, whatever you want to. I know that, the Knit and Tea lady, on the corner of Knit and Tea is doing a hat along. So I could throw my hat into there. And Dramatic Knits always does the race to the finished object. So you can even throw your stuff in there. Yeah. Love on your podcasters this week. Stop in and say hi. I'd love to hear from you. Sorry I haven't been answering YouTube. I need to do that. So if you want to talk to me, you can PM me. You can email me at akcold2@yahoo.com, or just ask me a question on YouTube. You can find me on YouTube as Pattisand101, and I have a blog spot, which is pattyknitsandspins.blogspot.com. So anyway, I think that's it. Until next week, whatever you craft, I hope you craft it to your heart's content. Bye, everybody.